Thank you, Mayor Diaz. Now it is my honor to introduce to you the heartbeat behind this innovative initiative. Please welcome President and founder of the Save a Life Foundation, Carol Spizzirri. My friend.
Thank you, Rita, and thank you, Mayor Pasquale, and thank you to all the mayors in the U.S. Conference of Mayors who've become a friend of mine over the years. This is an emotional time for me to be in front of you because you all have supported me so much, especially all the letters you sent to the Mayor's Pasquale. He enjoyed them. When life is first born into this world, each is granted two active bystanders, one being a mother, one being a father. These two bystanders are the first to acknowledge life's arrival and are the first to assist in sustaining its survival. It is our responsibility as mothers and fathers and to continue this safeguarding our children's life so that one day they can safeguard their own. Save a Life Foundation would not exist if it weren't for the designers and masterminds behind these life-saving skills. Dr. Henry Heimlich, the Heimlich maneuver, and the late Dr. Peter Saffer, the father of CPR, both supported my mission to train the masses. They have both saved many, many lives with their techniques and continue to help me with developing these programs to present to our local school children. These programs have also demonstrated a 97% retention level after 3 months in skills that they had learned by the local EMS, and a 57% increased willingness to save a life, not take one. It is my honor to welcome my mentor, my friend, Dr. Henry Heimlich, at this time.
Hey, isn't Jacobson choking?
I'd definitely say Jacobson's choking.
I know exactly what to do. I've seen it in the movies. It's called the Heimlich maneuver.
Isn't that pronounced Heimlich?
I'm pretty sure it's Heimlich. Huh? You make a ball, see, out of your fists, stand behind the guy, pull hard, and the action on the solar plexus.
Oh, that's right, the solar plexus.
Expels the food. Just like I told you.
Less talk.
Just like in the movies.
Make it happen. The Royal Bank of Scotland Group.
The Royal Bank of Scotland has been showing this humorous cartoon commercial throughout this country and abroad to millions of people. We had at the Heimlich Institute a visit from the President, Sir Frederick Goodwin of the Royal Bank of Scotland, which, by the way, is the 6th largest bank in the world, and gave them a Heimlich Institute Save a Life Award because it is obvious that with the millions of people seeing this, it will stick in their minds and they will save thousands of lives in the future. I'm often asked, I might say, by the way, this morning I had the good fortune of breakfast at the White House, and the senior President Bush was there, and he came over, and I reminded him that his son had choked on a pretzel and had fallen unconscious, and fortunately he landed flat on his belly, which did a Heimlich maneuver. Now that may be fine for presidents, but I pointed out the fact that you should all know, and we want to save some lives today, that you can do the Heimlich maneuver to yourself. And after that happened with President Roosevelt, my goodness, shows my age. Shows my age. That's the second President Roosevelt. With President Bush, I was interviewed throughout the week by the media, and it gave me a chance to point out this fact. You can save yourself. So please spread this word. You can do it by doing the maneuver to yourself. Just try it if you want with your fist and grasping it below your chest and pressing upward and inward, or you can lean over the back of a chair and just press yourself in the same spot. Press yourself in the belly and save yourself. And if President Bush can be alone, certainly you or other people in your community can be alone when they choke and should know this. Let's save a few other lives. I'll tell you a little bit how the maneuver came about, and I think that will give you a better understanding of it that you can teach to others in your community. I read in the newspaper that choking, and this goes back to the early 1970s, that choking to death was the 6th leading cause of accidental death, number 6. And I specialized in swallowing problems, and I thought, gee, that's odd. I only read about famous people who choked to death. I didn't think it was so common. So I looked up what was being done for choking, and what was being done is that they were, for over 60, 70 years, teaching people that if someone is choking, you hit them on the back. And the first thing you do in research is you look to what is being done that is wrong and see if you can find a solution. Every single scientific article from the leading organizations, the Chevalier Jackson Clinic in Philadelphia, which had counted out the treatment and deaths in thousands of choking victims, everyone said, don't hit the back. If someone is choking, you will kill them. You will drive the choking object tighter into the airway. And that was so obvious. If you have a piece of meat here and you have the larynx, the airway here, the person can still breathe. But when you hit the back, the body moves forward. The object does not. It drives the object tighter and it causes death. So as a thoracic surgeon, a chest surgeon, I felt what we have to do, of course, is push the object away from the lungs and out the mouth, and conceived of compressing the lungs and getting a flow of air that will carry the object away. And we did that experimentally, did it on a dog, and found out if you pressed on the chest, nothing would happen because you weren't really compressing the lungs. So CPR would be useless. And then I thought, since it wouldn't work, pushing up on the diaphragm. And if you push the diaphragm upward into the chest, you diminish the volume of the chest, which compresses the lungs and causes a flow of air. So huge, we measured it to be a small hurricane, 205 liters per minute. And with that, we got out what I called subdiaphragmatic pressure and what the AMA journal then called the Heimlich maneuver. And indeed, if you know that sequence and what it does, you'll have no trouble, again, teaching it to your family and in your community to save lives. In addition, it's been proved that the Heimlich maneuver empties water from the lungs. 4 maneuvers taking a handful of seconds. 4 Heimlich maneuvers, pushes up on the diaphragm each time and expels the water from the lungs. All these years where mouth-to-mouth have been given, and there was no way known at that time, of course, that you could get the water out of the lungs. But it was doing very little. The death rate was very high in drowning. And the reason is, of course, that your lungs are filled with water. You can't blow air through water. And the Heimlich maneuver can drive the water out. So please, this is so sensible, so obvious, and so well proven. We have shown that with mouth-to-mouth, this has been shown by others in the medical journals, with mouth-to-mouth, the death rate is over 50%. When you do the Heimlich maneuver first and empty the water from the lungs, the death rate is 3%. You have 97% of lives saved. Now, I want to bring to your attention, and I understand the mayor of Cleveland is here, and I'm sure knows about this. An instance happened just a couple of years ago in Cleveland where a 6-year-old in school, a little boy, was choking. Nobody in the cafeteria did anything till the nurse came. The nurse did the Heimlich maneuver, expelled the object. The child recovered, but with a degree of brain damage because of the lack of oxygen for a period of time. Consequently, a little over a year ago, the state of Ohio passed this law. Any school district or non-public school that operates a food service system shall require at least one employee who has received instruction in methods to prevent choking and has demonstrated an ability to perform the Heimlich maneuver to be present while students are being served food. Don't wait for the next death in your community, in your schools, in your cities, in your states. Have this take place. It costs nothing to have an employee there know how to both prevent choking and to use the Heimlich maneuver should it occur. I ask you to do this. Again, do not delay, because you will never forgive yourselves if that first child does not survive. There is one other way that I want you to help very much with saving lives. There are many cities, and I believe most states in the country, require that in every restaurant you must post a poster showing how to do the Heimlich maneuver. And that has saved many lives. If that does not exist in your community, I assure you, you should not waste time in carrying it out. I might point out that starting with the state of Florida, the state of Florida required such posters, and it was very difficult for the state to get them out to the restaurants constantly as they opened. And so they came to us at the Heimlich Institute and asked if we could handle the posters. And as a result, we have on our website, heimlichinstitute.org, O-R-G, one word, Heimlich Institute, small letters, .org, a means of acquiring these posters. And what the state of Florida and others are now doing or recommending in order to relieve themselves, are recommending that people obtain the posters in this way. And again, it is saving lives without any problems that have been had with certain states in getting the posters out. There is one other use for the Heimlich maneuver, and I think you should know it. And this is relatively new. The Heimlich maneuver will stop an asthma attack. What an asthma attack is, through an allergy or contaminated air, the breathing tubes constrict and become narrow. The person can breathe in with a wheeze, but most asthmatics have thick mucus, and when they try to breathe out, these little breathing tubes get plugged. So they continue to expand their lungs and not be able to breathe out. As a result, in this country, 5,000 asthmatics die every year, a third of them children. One hospital in New York City has 20 children die in their emergency room during an asthma attack every year. By doing the Heimlich maneuver, you push the diaphragm up, you compress the lungs, which blows out the trapped air, and with it the mucus plugs, and you save that person's lives. I might just say, of course, you do this after medication has failed, but when the lungs become distended, the victim cannot breathe the medication in any case. Now, at the Heimlich Institute, our mission is simple solutions for saving lives and spreading them to the world. I hope you'll help us in this endeavor so that we can save so many lives. Now, not only by teaching these things, having someone present in the eating areas helps, but many schools in many cities teach the Heimlich maneuver to the students. It only takes a half hour to an hour a year, and Save a Life Foundation is doing this, and many many schools and cities are doing this. If you do this and do it each year, it becomes impressed in the child's mind, and they won't have to think. They won't have to think of what do I do when I see this person choking. Well, I hope I haven't given you too much to think about, but I hope you will join us all in saving more lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Heimlich. I'm encouraging all mayors to take action and prepare your citizens, especially the children, for emergencies. Trained children grow into trained and caring adults. As mayor, I'm asking that all mayors join me and NASCAR driver Travis Geisler in publicly announcing your support for life safety by airing your own personalized PSA within your community, such as this one.
Hi, I'm NASCAR Busch Series driver Travis Geisler. To reach a checkered flag, I follow the rules of safety. You too must follow the rules of safety. Join your mayor and me and learn to save a life.
Thanks, Travis. I'm Mayor Rita Mullins of Palatine. Millions of children die each year